Thanks so much for coming to our 45-minute yin yang. So we have a nice combination of holding some postures for longer periods of time so that we can kind of really get a little more internalized within our physical body and what's taking place. And then we're going to incorporate some movements after that will kind of have us flowing around a bit and a nice way to kind of just open up the body and prepare for the day. We are going to be utilizing props in our class today. So we're going to use a bolster. If you don't have a bolster, you can use a rolled up blanket or a towel, and it's basically going to create the same prop. So you want something that's going to be about the length of your spine. And you're going to go ahead, grab your prop or make your prop and line it up lengthwise down the back of your mat. And then you're going to connect your hips and you're going to lower down. So your prop lands in the small of your back, lines up with your spine. You're going to take a moment to get situated with your arms so they can move out to your sides. You'll notice by lifting them up higher or lower that it's going to create a different opening across your chest. And then we're looking for something that's really sustainable and decreasing our fidgeting. So if you want to open up the hips, you can bring the soles of the feet together and take the knees wide. And if you know that you're not going to be able to settle while opening the hips, just straighten your legs out like I have here. Welcoming in a deeper breath. Feel your chest rise and fall with every breath. Creating some space from the inside out. Notice parts of your body softening a little further as you breathe out. Unnecessary tension starts to dissolve. Keep settling your body by using your breath. Following 3 more breaths here in this shape. start to flare through your fingers and your toes. Shifting your shoulders and your hips. Eventually, take your arms overhead, stretch your legs forward, find a full body good morning stretch. And then releasing. Let's roll through to one side. Remove your prop from under you. And then you're going to return to laying on your back, bending your knees, draw your legs in here, rock side to side. Come back to center. We'll find figure 4. Outer right ankle lands at the top of the left thigh. We'll draw our legs in towards us, just pausing when we've met a good sensation. Allow the heads of your shoulders to sink back, creating broad collarbones. Staying connected with the sensations that are arriving as you create the opening in your right hip. Let's reconnect our left foot down to the mat. And finish crossing your right leg on top so the knees stack. And bring your arms out wide. Shift your hips to the right before lowering your legs to the left. We welcome a big rotation up the spine. Invite some depth to your breath. Tends to become shallow when we twist up the body. And breathing right into any places where you feel restriction. Let's start to unwind our legs, connect our feet, and square the hips. We'll take the outer left ankle to the top of the right thigh, draw your legs in. Find your breath, feel that flow in and out. Keep relaxing through the upper part of your body. We'll reconnect our right foot, finish crossing our left leg on top. Arms go wide. Shift your hips to the left before lowering your legs down to the right. Calm, steady breaths, helping you settle into the rotation. Being mindful to maintain that depth in your breath. We'll unwind our legs, connect our feet, center our hips. Lower your arms down along your sides, connecting your palms. Invite a rock to your pelvis. So you're going to draw your pubic bone towards your navel. Feel the lower abdominals engage. And then you're going to arch into your lower back by pressing your tailbone down. And then again, pubic bone draws to navel. Lower back presses into your mat. And then tailbone presses down. Feel that sense of lift. Again, pubic bone to navel. And then tailbone down. And then continue this rock into your pelvis just a few times. Isolating that movement into the lower part of your back. And the next time your tailbone is lifting, you're going to continue to lift, peeling your vertebrae up until you can't lift any higher. Now, the hips probably won't come as high as you're used to with a regular old bridge lift, but that's okay. That's not what we're trying to do here. So keep that tuck of the tailbone as you start to lower down. See if you can connect your vertebrae one at a time. Tailbone eventually touches last. And then begin to pick up again. Curl your pubic bone to your navel. Continue to lift until you can't lift anymore. And then lowering down the same way, maintaining that strength in the lower part of the abdomen until the very end. And you're going to find this wave-like movement a few more times, just on your own. And the next time your hips lower all the way down, roll through to one side, press yourself up into a tabletop position. When you arrive in your tabletop, you want to find your shoulder blades, these big flat bones at the top of your back, and draw them together. Feel the chest sink a bit, and then pull your shoulder blades down. Notice your chest draw forward, and then spread the shoulder blades wide and lift them. Notice the upper back round, and then pull the shoulder blades together and down. Go wide and up, together and down. Now we're starting to isolate the movement into our upper back. You may hear some audible crepitus, it's actually called, but it just sounds like kind of like a crunchy sound. That's good. It means that you might need to do more of this movement like myself. It's kind of honoring those early morning bodies. See if you can find this sense of gliding your shoulder blades along your back. Okay, let's get one more rotation in. And then pick your hips up, shift it back, downward facing dog. Pedaling your legs side to side. Softening one knee as you straighten the other. Let's continue to walk the feet forward. And then take a wide stance at the top of your mat, turning the toes out and the heels in. Lowering your hips down, entering a squat. And then begin to shift the weight around here, just exploring. No need to be stagnant. The hands can lift. You can twist through the spine. And then allow yourself to diminish your movements, molding your body into your first malasana. Looking forward, begin to take your hips up, heel toe your feet back in about hip width apart. Soften your knees and fold your upper body down. Sinking your hips low, allow your back to stay rounded. Ground your feet down and begin to roll up. Arms dangling here. Front of the hips start to open. Let's circle our arms out wide and high. Finding a back bend, maybe looking up. And then you're going to swan dive back down. Arms go wide, folding the abdomen, the chest, and eventually the chin down. Let's sink the hips. Again, feel that sense of rounding in the spine as you use the power of your legs to help stand you up, rolling open vertebra by vertebra until eventually the arms circle up. We arch the back. And then you're going to keep that arch in the back as you dive forward. Nice soft knees, lower the abdomen, the chest and the chin, curling down into your fold. We're going to do that again. Sink your hips low. Stay rounded in the back as you start to rise up. When the front of your hips start to open, allow that to arch all the way up. Circle your arms overhead and then dive back down. Again, soften your knees, sinking your hips low. Roll up a little bit faster this time. Nice arch to the back. Lift from the back of your rib cage. And one more. We'll dive down, folding, lift your lower abdomen. Sink your hips. Initiate that roll up to stand. Arms go wide and high. Big arch to the back. And this time we'll stay standing and release the arms down to our sides. Take a large step back with either of your feet and then turn all 10 of your toes to the long side of your mat. Bring your arms out wide. And then take the right toes back to face the short side. Bend into your knee and settle your hips for warrior two. Grounding equally through your feet. Hug the energy up the inseam of your legs. Feeling the powerful flow of your breath move in and out of your nose. Straighten your right leg, turn those toes to the long side of your mat and the left toes to the short. Bend your knee, sink in. Ground your feet, power up your legs, and stack your rib cage over your pelvis. Knit the bottom ribs down, engaging the upper part of your abdominal wall. Maintain that knit, but pull the rib cage up from your hips, bringing more length to your spine. Straighten your left leg, turn the toes to the long side of the mat, and fold. Let's place our hands under our shoulders. Big breath in, find a half lift. And as you exhale, folding down. Possibility of walking the hands back. Find that same hug up the inner leg line. Tightening up through your lower abdomen. Lengthen the crown of your head down. Let's walk the hands under our shoulders. Lengthen the spine. Then you're going to turn the right toes to the corner of the mat. Bend that knee, sink your hips down towards that heel as the left toes turn up. We enter half squat or skandasana. Then you're going to start to shift side to side. Hands can walk along with you here. Lots of different ways to move side to side here. So you can think of trying to keep the hips low as possible. You could also think like speed skater, kind of pushing from the outer hip to take you side to side. And the next time you're over to the right, pause, settle in here. Engage the right glute, working that outward rotation. All right, let's press over to the left, same idea. Engage the glute. Press up through center, straightening both legs, turn the toes back to the long side of your mat. Hands find the waist, rise all the way up to stand, and then you're going to heel toe your feet in, I'd say about a pace. You have about a 3-foot stance between your feet. Bring your arms back out wide, and then turn the palms forward. Right toes turn back to the short side of your mat. Kick your hips back. Lean forward, can't go anymore. Stack your arms, entering Trikonasana or triangle. Ground your feet, firm up your legs, securing the base of your foundation. And remembering that curl we did of the pubic bone towards the navel at the start of class, invite that in here. Knit the bottom ribs down as well, engaging the top part of your abdominal wall. Big stretch through the sides of your waist. Stay grounded in your feet. Rise up. Arms don't change. Right toes to the long side, left toes to the short. Kick the hips back, lean. Can't go anymore. Let's stack those arms. Enter Trikonasana on the other side. Get equally long through both sides of your waist. Invite that same curl of the pubic bone towards the navel, lower abdomen engaged. Top abdomen engages as well, drawing those bottom ribs in. Strong legs. Let's rise up. Turn the left toes to the long side and release our arms. Let's heel toe the feet back in under our hips. Gather your hands in front of your chest. Shift the weight over to the right foot, and you're going to bend the left knee, turn it out to the side. Connect the sole of the foot inside your leg and start to travel that foot up from the power of the inner leg line. And then we find tree pose. Calm, steady breaths. Let's slowly release that left foot down, recalibrate 2 points of contact, and shift the weight to the left. Bend that right knee, work it out to the side, connect the foot inside the leg, and let's start to draw it up. All the same principles. We're grounding through that standing foot. Firm up the leg, hugging everything to center. Slowly release that right foot down with control and step back forward to the top of your mat. Let's take the arms wide and high. Find that bit of a back bend here. Open up. And then dive forward, folding down. Let's take a half lift. Step back into a high plank and lower down your knees. Rise up to a high kneel. Gather your hands in front of your chest. Curl the toes under. Let's engage the abdominal wall. Take a breath in, draw the rib cage up, puff your chest open. Exhale, draw your shoulders back and down. Great job. Breathe in, lift and arch. Exhale, shoulders back and down. One more full breath in, lengthen to open up. Exhale, remain strong in your abdominal wall. Good. Let's inhale, lift ourselves up. And then exhale, sinking the hips towards the heels, place the palms on the thighs. Getting a nice stretch through those toes. Hopefully they're still curled under. If they're not, go ahead, tuck them back under. This foot stretch can get intense very quickly for people. So just mindfully moving as you need, but try to reduce any fidgeting. Releasing, come forward, connect your hands back down, take your hips up Downward facing dog. Enjoy opening the back of your knees. And then lower your knees down again. You're going to grab your prop and slide it between your legs. Allow the heels to come out wider than your hips. So we're going to come into Virasana or hero's pose. We're going to offer you a lot of options here. So this is the first option. Just sitting up in this kneeling position can be quite challenging. The second option is going to be to connect your hands behind you with your fingers facing forward, and then kind of lengthen that tailbone down, and you're going to get a big stretch in your quads and up the front of your hips. If you'd like to explore another option, you can lower down onto your forearms as you bend your elbows. Calm, steady breaths. Again, try to limit any fidgeting. Mindful movements are welcome. They're very deliberate and thoughtful. We'll start to climb our way up from wherever you might be. Connect the hands, lift the hips, back into our downward facing dog. Lower down to your knees again. Take your prop off to the side and lower down onto your back. With your knees bent and your feet a little bit wider than your hips, allow your legs to pass side to side. Any tension is relieved with this movement in the lower part of your body. When your knees face back towards the ceiling, let's draw our legs in. Take happy baby. Hands grab a hold of the outer lower leg, ankles, or feet. See if you can create a sense of symmetry within your body. Draw your knees down, but pressing your heels up. Close your legs, squeeze them in close with your hands. And we'll lay our limbs down piece by piece, allowing ourselves to enter Shavasana. Shavasana signifies the death of our practice. Every time you step onto your mat, you have a new opportunity to explore. Allow your soft tissues to fully release. Breath returning back to its ebb and flow. Rediscover your breath and stretch it out. Flare through your fingers and your toes. Bring your arms overhead, your legs together. Take a full body stretch, breathing in, arch the lower part of your back. On your exhale, release down, eventually finding your way into a seated position. Sit in good posture. Soften your gaze or fully close down your eyes. Locating your breath. Feeling it travel up on your inhale. And sending it back down on your exhale. You can sit quietly as long as time permits you to today. I thank you for coming to share a little piece of your practice with me. Namaste.